Okay, welcome to Old World Blues Rocky Mountain High and the start of a new playthrough, and I am going to be playing as the Beggars. Now I will be doing a bit of reading of these details, so if you want to skip ahead of this, there will be a timestamp for where I've actually set up the Beggars. So I'll meet you there. But otherwise, this is something new, the Bull's Demise. The former states of New Mexico and Colorado lie in the shadow of the Bull and this are scarred by past conflicts. The memory of Paulus and his cohort is still fresh as the wounds they inflicted, and the legacy of the prisoner is still felt in the mountains. The nearest protege of Kaiser, the man known as Lanius, will decide the future of these lands through his sword, his shifting loyalties, or his failures, while those in his path have little choice but to prepare themselves. The goddess Diana, the digital gremlin Doki, the lords of Dog City, and even the Brotherhood of Steel all be within his path. Further north lies the powder keg waiting only for a match to light the fire. An NCR expedition looks to claim the legendary Boulder Dome as ghoulish warlords, both luminous and withered, begin to make their own power plays. Looking over it all is the Black Canyon, a union on the precipice of complete collapse and standing on the doorstep of paradise. It is not a question of whether those lands will fall into chaos, but who will reign over them when it is over. I love the writing these guys do. Okay, so, and let's look at the beggars here. The second Colorado expedition, known by its colloquial name the Beggars, has returned to where the first one arrived over 2 decades ago. Many of the faces in the expedition are the same as they were back then, but older, wiser, and perhaps more bitter. This time they are mercifully free of the diabolical machinations of Victor Presper, but they are still in grave danger. Beset on both sides by hostile ghoulish forces, the expedition is also torn internally between the different approaches to their mission. The beggars face a Sisyphean task to survive, conquer, and race to save Boulder Dome Zax from destroying itself. Alright, select country, average Joe, Iron Man mode off, historical AR focuses on, and let's go. And we are immediately welcomed with the event Operation Boulderdash. Blasted, a clatter of assorted items smashed to the ground as Goddard swept his hand across his table. He needed a place to think in private, so he had returned to his Vault City workstation. Goddard was not one for wanted instruction, but each and every time he ran the numbers, sorted the data, and accounted for every possibility, it all led to one conclusion. At this rate, the Boulder Zax won't last past the end of the decade, he muttered. The heads of Nina, Paul, and James stuck themselves into the room alongside other students from the academy. They kept quiet for fear of aggravating him further. Goddard, however, noticed their presence. "You three in front of me now." All three asked in vague unison. "Yes, Professor?" Goddard looked them over. He snapped his finger towards an ancient blueprint of a large circular facility. "When we reach Colorado, I am going to give you all a very special task. If this task is not completed perfectly, it will mean the death of one of the greatest minds left in this intelligence-drained world. I'm going to ask one question, and I expect a simple response. Are you willing to risk this trip?" All gave the only answer they could: "Yes, Professor." And we see here, the Zax is a dying machine which holds irreplaceable knowledge about the miracles of the old world. It is seated on the fifth and lowest level of the Boulder Dome. If we want to save it, we need to get inside the facility's last level before the 1st of January 2281, so that's 6 years. If this date passes and the Zax cannibalize its last memory banks, it will explode, destroying the whole facility, wiping from the face of the Earth, which activates Project Sisyphean, whatever the hell that is. Okay, so here we have the beggars. Just one national spirit, the Lost Expedition, which is terrible. Minus 30% stability, plus 35 to resistance growth speed, plus 35 to required garrisons, and daily compliance is negative 0.5. If you own By Blood Alone, which I do, we will be getting a starting medal soon after the game starts. That's quite nice. Also, we do start with one advisor here, General Coleridge, which gives a nice boost to hardness, division defense, negative to planning speed, but max planning is 10% more. Now, decisions. Here is this Operation Boulderdash and Project Sisyphean. Really need to figure out how to pronounce that. There we go. 6 years, 1,825 days. Now, right now, we can get holodiscs. These need to be used when we get to the Boulder Dome. So we need to get as many of them while we are making our way there. So I'm going to go for divert salvage crews for holodisc duty. This is going to cost me 300 manpower. I will get some back in 140 days, and I'm going to get an empty holodisc. Other than that, we have the focus of this episode, the lit fuse over here, which is they call it a three-way wall, but it's basically 2-on-1 that is going to ignite in a year. Right now, I'm going to turn these notifications off. I'll get back to that later. Everything is pretty much the same, although the scavenging program is now automated with 5.1, so I'm looking forward to exploring that. I have no intelligence agency, but I'll get one soon. Research. I've gone something a bit different. I'm going for strip power armor. I'm trying to time things well. I've done this run quite a few times to practice it because this is quite a difficult nation to play in 5.1. The odds are stacked against you for basically most of the playthrough. Then because I have started with less than 1,000 manpower, I'm going for organized agriculture, and then I'm just boosting my research speed. For construction, we have almost no civilian factories, so I'm building another one here in the Highlands. But as you can see here, with one with one civilian workshop, it will take close to 5 years to complete. So that's definitely not going to be done before this war kicks off. If you are wondering, I have experimented. Also, you can't get a bunker completed because there is already an outpost here. You are unable to get that built in time. Same for the workshops. Infrastructure, it's the same. Basically, you're not going to be able to build anything with your civilian workshop before this war kicks off. Production wise, we have 2 arms workshops, one on guns. Yes, that's right, we only have pipe guns, and support equipment. Now, that actually reminds me, I didn't show you the tech levels that the baggers start off with. Basically, it is intermediate on everything except no creatures. That's something I look forward to exploring in the future. But we are sophisticated on electronics and construction, which is quite nice. Okay, getting back to things. Templates. We have the Colorado Rangers here. I cannot change it. It is a 10 with Special Forces with Recon. And then we have the Colorado Troopers, 12 with, also with Recon. Standard local militia. And we also start with a motorized division, which I'm not going to be using right now. Last thing to go over. We do start quite nicely as a military. 11 units, 1 of those California Rangers, 5 of the Colorado Troopers, and 5 of the local militia. And then we start with 3 officers, 1 commanding officer, General Coleridge here, and then we have Major Briggs and Sergeant Larson. Now, first things first, these 5 militia, I highly recommend that you change them from the start to your Colorado Troopers, especially if you have the By Blood Alone DLC. You will see why shortly. So we're going to change that up, and then I'm going to give Coleridge here Savage Leader, just to get the extra breakthrough, because he already has Pain Train unlocked at the start of the game. Let's set these guys off on training, because even though they look very impressive, this brown bar here means they are very low in supply. So they need to be trained up, and my manpower is going to get trained very quickly. Now, a lot of suggestions I've seen on Reddit say that you need to, when this war kicks off, give away a little bit of your land and then go towards the luminous ones first and then turn on the withered dogs. I half agree with what people said. My experience in testing this has shown that if you lose these 2 victory points, Kimball and Briggsdale, although their names will change soon, you will lose the game. So you can only really afford to lose 1 victory point. So I have put, another thing, this is 5 tiles, this is 6. So as you can see, I've done that. I have my 1st battalion here. Under an armor group order, again, I've got a method behind my madness on the, let's just say the right-hand side here, with a breakthrough straight for these victory points here. We'll get Broadwater along the way. And then 2nd is going to guard the north. I'm going to sacrifice Briggsdale so I can link up my line with the armor group order. But we'll get to fighting later on. So that is the setup that I am strongly recommending you follow. And then we have the first focus for this playthrough. The first expedition. This isn't the first time we came out here. It was around 20 years ago. So let's start that up, maximum speed, and let's go. So I must actually kind of apologize for my rather long setups that I go through on all the first episodes of my playthroughs, but I am a very strong believer in getting the simple things right in the beginning can make the rest of your playthrough so much smoother. But now let's find out about where the Columbines grow. The first Colorado expedition set out slightly over 20 years ago as one of the last initiatives of the late President Tandi, endorsing research of the world beyond California. Both inexperienced researchers and neophytes made up the hopeful expedition, accompanied by 3 companies of soldiers. They set out eastward towards the old state of Colorado. It was an arduous journey, sailing upon the Colorado River through numerous old world states. While we came across many interesting finds, the only one worthy of note would be a crash site in the Grand Canyon, the wreckage of the old bomb station 002. While not measurable to the dome, still held numerous secrets. Leaving a small group there was the goal of further investigation as we continued eastward. That was the last time the expedition decided anything unanimously. The question of authority was always a point of contention at best. The officially appointed leader of the expedition, Dr. Goddard, held no real authority over his armed forces. They refused to answer to anyone other than General Coleridge. Eventually, we realized. So, 3 choices. Dr. Goddard was the leader of the expedition. Some more popularity for the intellectuals, and the balance of power, which I'll get into soon, goes 25% towards academics. So General Coleridge was the real authority all along, pretty much the same, boost to the popularity of the ruler, power of balance goes towards Coleridge's, clique, and then Dr. Andrews kept the 2 in line, and you get a boost to stability and 10% 10% popularity to people and a stability boost of 5%. Now, I want to get this started because I will be playing as General Coleridge, which some have said is the harder route to follow, but I think is the better one. So, General Coleridge, and then we're going to move on to failure of the expedition. We weren't successful and had to leave, all thanks to a certain someone. And this is the event you will receive if you have the By Blood Alone DLC, the rewards of the first expedition. Coleridge adjusted his pauldrons of his military dress uniform. While it was nice to wear his power armor, he couldn't take any risks of stirring up any bad memories on a day of commemoration. Goddard had been vocally opposed to it as is. In his words, they were getting participation medals for walking a short distance. Coleridge made it clear that his men would get whatever rewards he deemed fit to receive. Standing at a harshly constructed podium on a more readily constructed stage, he turned to Angie's, who had prepared a number of impromptu badges and medals. She had done her best to keep them consistent, but it was hard to find anything that wasn't the equivalent of adding a pin to a bottle cap and calling it a medal. He rather liked the subtle differences in designs. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to bestow the Long Trek Medal on each and every one of you. You have all made a tremendous effort coming here. I am proud of you. Tandi would be proud of you. I'm sure Goddard's heart is swelling as well, even if he can't come out of his lab to show it. A chuckle rippled through the crowd. One by one, Coleridge called the battalions that had made the trek. Angie's hand Coleridge their medals, which he placed upon their uniforms, nodding his head each time. At last the event came to a close. But the reclamation of Colorado has just begun. So every Expeditionary Force division has unlocked a medal slot, and they will receive the Long Trek Medal for zero political power, awarded them for a limited time. Now, what this allows is me to, everybody gets a medal, and here's the trick of why I said to change these militia guys to the Colorado template, because only the Colorado Troopers, yes, that's their name, only those units get this medal, no one else. So, and for zero political power, I now will use 15 less consumption on 10 of my 11 units. Yes, for some reason, I don't know why, the Special Forces unit doesn't get this medal. And now we're going to learn about the Spector of Victor Presper. So, shortly after setting up a temporary base of operations and scouting around, we moved on to securing the dome. Around the facility's outskirts, we spotted some unfriendly faces. The jackals, long exiled from California, had come out this far. They put up a worthy fight resisting us, but in the end they fled from our forces. Their half-crazed leader, Howler, fled only after his body was nearly torn into pieces by bullets, leaving the rest of his group to be put down effortlessly. What we found in the dome was nothing short of astonishing. Not referring to the scientific miracle of the dome itself, a man from the old world named Presper and his companions slumbering in cryogenic sleep. After awakening them, we attempted to cooperate with them peacefully. Our short time spent together was productive, to say the least. Our fractionist leadership caused an issue. Goddard tried his best to cooperate with him, but Coleridge refused to do so, eyeing the geezer suspiciously. So, while he was a dangerous lunatic, he was useful. We'll give him more stability and 2 research bonuses of 25% for electronics technology. But never trusted him, not even for a second. Will give me 22.5% more war support, which is lower than my stability right now. And more importantly, 250 units of advanced weaponry. That's the one I want, because I am currently, after taking that 250 units, still 1,000 short for the troops that I have. So that is way more important than some research bonuses. Now, the second expedition. We have arrived here once again. The region might just be twice as deadly as it was before. And now, back in the cave. Presper never tried to hide his unorthodox ideas, questionable research, or outlandish theories about life and the condition of the wasteland. He believed we would see things the same way as he did, and that we would want to partake in his plans. He was scheming something in the shadows, preparing something grand to showcase to us. After a few weeks, he had presented his conclusion. He wanted to wipe the slate clean, terminate everyone he deemed unworthy, imbecilic, a lower life form, or whatever, a simple genocide. We resisted, supported by a couple of his formerly chosen colleagues. There was some shouting, some begging, and eventually a firefight between the parties. We had to evacuate the dome ASAP. In that chaos, we had to decide what to save on the way out. Either the technology that nobody in the wasteland could ever replicate in the following millennia, or the most precious resource we had, the lives of our people. So we can choose between people or replaceable. These beauties, nevermore. That adds 4, I can't remember what the hell that's supposed to be, but for that resource, or scraps on valuable human life is 300 manpower. Again, I'm going to go for the manpower because I am short 900. So 300 will do nicely to help that out. And here we go, democracy and other mistakes. After the chaotic events in Colorado, we left behind everything that wasn't necessary for our survival and set sail back to California. It was an unfathomable price, but we had to pay. Congress had to know about Presper and his our expedition's findings. Since then, 20 years have passed, the members of the expedition waiting for the day when they could see the dome again. Cold wrath, impatience, and an insatiable need for glory and retribution slowly consumed their hearts and minds. After the Republic began its pacification of the Mojave, it became painfully evident that Congress would never provide funding for the intellectual crusade. But after some lobbying with a certain baron, private funding was acquired. In 2273, the Second Colorado Expedition was officially ready to go back again. The zombie battalion encompasses 4 companies worth of troopers, complemented with the support of the 5th Engineering Company and one of the newly incorporated Ranger detachments led by Ranger Major Victor Presper. The Academy provided the official scientists from the first expedition and a handful of students from the followers of the apocalypse. Repeating the same arduous journey was more than exhausting for the expedition's veterans, but they had to come back. The roads and waters became even more dangerous in that time. A minor skirmish happening in the Grand Canyon, where our old backup team fired at us from the old, now fortified station they were once tasked with researching. Deciding to simply move on in fear of potential losses, we'll never forget their betrayal. They were absent from their post during our retreat, and now they have stabbed us in the back. We will come back. So, arm experience plus 10, manpower minus 7, sleepers manpower minus 14. I have 0, so that minus 7 is not going to hurt me in the slightest. So, the bear cubs are back. Our second arrival on the Coloradian soil was met with more challenge than the last. A lot has changed in 20 years. The once abandoned region now houses sparse but considerable settlements. We landed at the same place as before, and to our great surprise, we found our old camp still standing. Securing the Baggers Camp, as the locals named it after we were bagged, some samples from the dome, we ran into the remnants of Kimball and Briggsdale. Both settlements were too surprised by the NCR's presence to show any resistance. The small numbers of local ghouls left the area, leaving a local welders commune and jet junkies under our jurisdiction. What splendid civilians to rule over. To the west are religious fanatics that follow the great glowing one who weaponizes radiation. To the east are the withered dogs, a ragtag band of ghouls, both ex-National Guard and old communist invaders. To the south, the hand dogs rule most of the plains of Colorado, just as before we left. The way north is sealed shut. We have a wall against our back, and every other direction are potential enemies waiting to strike. We're outnumbered, outgunned, and surrounded, and most of our soldiers look at the local ghoul population with distrust. We need every gun and hand. Can we jeopardize the expedition by trusting the zombies? And we have an option here. If they carry a gun, they're more than welcome. This will change the recruitment law from no mutants allowed to ghoul recruitment, which has the normal stats, and we get 150 manpower. Or will need any man ready to kill a ghoul. Replace no undesirables, which is another recruitment law, with petty criminal conscripts, which also has its normal changes. Only get 50 manpower now. Now, if you are going to support Goddard, then this would be the better choice. But I am supporting Coleridge, so I am going this way. And this also opens up the next event, managing the front range conflict. As the Baggers, you have the opportunity to shorten or lengthen the fuse before the three-way war between the Baggers, Luminous Ones, and Withered Dogs begin. Playing as the Baggers, the front range conflict is set to begin in 365 days after the game starts. Coleridge is an avid military man who wants to heavily focus on military preparation. This scares your neighbors, resulting in each of his Foki, shortening the time before the conflict begins to a maximum of 180 days. Alternatively, Goddard, a man of science and patience, willing to save time by acting less frightening, can lengthen the conflict to the same maximum of 180 days. A careful player will find themselves with as much time given to them as Goddard's path allows, but at the cost of having less than stellar military before the conflict. Alternatively, while through Coleridge's stratagem itself may start the conflict itself, his methods are well tried and may ultimately result in a better Colorado for all. The choice is yours. Which will you decide? Army experience +1. So, all this coincides in with what I said earlier. These are decisions that we can take. These bottom three don't really do anything to lengthen or shorten it, but I will be taking them. These two here, shake hands or send a patrol, will also add or shorten the fuse. I'm not going to take any of them. And then these three here are for whilst we are at war, so we don't have to worry about them now. Right now I'm 339 days to go. Now, quick pause. The reason I think Coleridge is better than Goddard is the fact that he can actually go to war sooner and can get your military up. Yes, I understand the argument for Goddard giving you more time, but more time also allows your enemies to be stronger, and we have this overpowering countdown here for our main goal. If we can't get to the dome and fix it by the time this counter runs out, this whole playthrough is worthless. So I want to get this war over as soon as possible so I can move on to my main objective. And that is why I believe Coleridge, even though it is harder, is better. Most people on Reddit have said that you need between 15 and 19 units to fight this war. I will be probably fighting it with the 11 that you see here, but it can be done. Now, moving on to the choice. So I've explained my reasons why between taking Goddard or Coleridge, and as I said, I'll be taking Coleridge. The straightforward method. Military matters are the preview of the NCRA, not eggheads seated behind desks. We will take the fight to our enemies the only way we know how. So, I'm going to get a weekly modifier of +5% towards, in the balance of power towards Coleridge. And I'm also going to remove 30 days from the lit fuse timer. Obviously, Goddard will be basically the exact opposite. Geez, I felt like I've been doing a lot of talking so far this episode, and if I'm boring you, I apologize, but I am doing my best to try explain to you the plan that I have for making the Baggers a successful playthrough in this first war against the Luminous Ones and the Withered Dogs. But moving on, straightforward method is done. Now, the next couple of focuses need to be done in a specific order, the next 3 to be precise, for my plan to kind of work. The next one is going to be Office of Military Advancement. The Office of Military Advancement, or just OMA, is the vision of the NCR's military clique. Coleridge, in conjunction with Lee Oliver back in the Republic, imagined a military body that sought to go beyond the restoration of all weapons and instead embrace building new and better ones. Out here, far from Republican bureaucracy, Coleridge will try to make this a reality. So, with the OMA, I'm going to get infantry technology research speed of 10% and the same for support research speed. And I'm also going to have a time penalty of reduction of 2 years with a 25% research bonus for firearms technology, which will be very, very nice because I start off with simple pipe guns. I don't even have the 9mm pistol, so that is going to help very nicely. Now you will see my money has gone up. I got an event for building some arms factories which I accepted and somehow automatically completed. So I will be buying some guns, both some pipe weapons and some basic melee, because I need weapons. That should be 500 in total, which will help this number out greatly. Also, you'll see up top here, I have a decision and a modified government. This is for the balance of power, which, if you are having trouble finding it, is this block here in the political, which opens this tab here. Now, I'll only be taking certain one of these, and the ones that I'm deselecting now are the ones that give support for Goddard. So you're going to take those ones out. I'm also, okay, I'll explain why I'm not going to take the other ones later, but those are the three you need to not take, so you don't support Goddard if you are supporting going for Coleridge. So organized agriculture is done. That's given me 250 manpower. Now, it might be very tempting, because you will guess that this manpower is going to disappear to 0 very quickly, to take another one, but you don't need to. Instead, what I'm going to do is, okay, originally I was going to get this, but instead, because I was able to buy those weapons, I'm going to go for construction basics so I can build a little bit faster. So strip power armor is finished researching. I'm not going to choose another research for now, because I want this focus to finish in 6 days before I select my next research. And there we go. Now it is done. So the next focus I need to take is activate the 5th engineering company, but I can't because I don't have noticeable influence for Coleridge. So I'm going to take my political power, go over here, and I am going to support who's the lowest, the Radphobians. So I'm going to support these guys. The reason I'm only doing this now is because as you increase your levels, you will see here, if you look closely, your stability begins to drop, as well as your political power gain. So I love my stability. I like it to be high. So I am literally going to be leaving these or purchasing these until when I really have to, so that I can have that stability a little bit longer, because it affects your construction speed, your recruitable manpower, so many things. So just going to select one there. I've gone up to noticeable, which means I can now activate the 5th engineering company. While we wanted to keep the 5th out of the action, we have no choice but to preemptify activate them. Showing their true colors and skill sets will help through the oncoming struggles, even if we would prefer to keep one of our aces in our sleeve. So we're going to add engineering support, which will give me entrenchment speed plus 25%, max entrenchment plus 2.5, and military factory assistance, which is basically an arms factory, plus 1. Beware, they will cease their support if we're more closely aligned with the Welders Union. That is what you do if you go for Goddard. And then also, going to get an intelligence agency for free, and then Major Briggs will get borderline terrorist, which will lower the damage to enemy garrisons in our states occupied by the enemy. So yeah, damage to enemy garrisons in our states occupied by the enemy plus 30%, and he's going to get a boost to soft demolition equipment, soft and hard attack, and Corporal Stead will get skillful water mechanic, which 6 extra water, purification construction speed plus 5%, and then we'll get an additional decision as well. So I'm going to start that one off now, and then research time, because now that 9mm pistol takes a mere 74 days to do, whereas before it was like 220 or something. Alright, Ohm's Law's finished. Now time to move on to some combat language there. And something I have realized is that I have an extra unit here. So to help me with my defense of the left side, I'm actually going to delete that front line there and do a fallback line here, because that way I will actually have all my troops in the position I want them, one per tile. It is a bit weak, but at least I'll have every tile covered, and then I can give up Briggsdale so I can complete my army group order all the way around. Here we are. I've activated the 5th Engineering Company, and also there is my intelligence agency. Now, next I'm going to move on to doing the 5th Engineering Company again. Led by Major Briggs, the 5th Engineering Company normally does everything a normal army engineering team would, but they have a special talent and task, sabotage. Usually in the explosive variety, they can make our enemies regret getting up this morning. So a little bit more war support, 2 arms workshops coming my way. Another 15 days coming off the lit fuse timer. So we'll start that off. Then for my production, I'm getting 1 factory coming and more, so I'm just going to do that. And since I've got all that free money, I might as well spend it on something. So I am going to do anti-partisan to get my resistance down once I conquer these 2 guys. There we are. Construction basics is done. Now I'm going to move on to getting woodworking, because I'm starting to get the insufficient resources alarm. So I want to get up here to work camps to try and help that. So woodworking first. And something I forgot to show you after the last focus is that we now have a new option: further assistance from the 5th Engineering Company, and coerce the 5th Engineering Company is no longer available. These 2 decisions are quite similar, but the further assistance one is better. That's why I didn't take this one, because I still get the same entrenchment speed, max entrenchment bonus, and an extra arms factory. But now I don't lose 5% war support, and I don't receive any damages to my 2 civilian factories in these 2 states here. So don't suggest taking this one. Also, as I think I mentioned, don't take field the radiophobians either, because there's a better focus later on. Alright, my first anti-partisan's done. Let me do my second, and let's have a look at what operative I get. Okay, only 1 infiltrator. Okay, it's not a trait I really use, but Bruce, welcome to the team. And now we are going to move on to doing integrated HCF squads. Let's integrate Briggs heavy cover fire teams into our battalions. That way we can benefit from superior firepower and organization. So I'm going to add fire team support template to the Colorado Troopers and Colorado Rangers templates, along with 150 units of fire team weaponry. And I'm going to get a nice research boost of a reduction, 2-year reduction penalty, and 25% readiness boost to fire team technology, sorry, and another 15 days taken off my lit fuse timer. So this actually counts for 45 days if you are looking at this timer here. Now, fire team for free is quite nice, along with free weaponry, because fire teams make a great general purpose weapon for attack and defense. On attack, it's not as good as demo. It does come with some piercing, but it's not as good as anti-tank. But it's a good middle ground, and hey, it's for free. Combat language is done. Now I want to learn some more about my enemies, so I'm going to do some decryption so I can see what they're up to. Okay, I have some half decent weapons now. The 9mm pistol. So I am going to put those guys into production. Goodbye pipe weaponry. I am not going to select another research because I want this focus to finish in 17 days. So I can research the next level of fire team weaponry. Okay, so that's my second anti-partisan done. I'm going to leave the intelligence agency alone for now. Next focus I'm going to be choosing is drill the Coloradian conscripts. The expedition is woefully unprepared for this 2-front conflict. There are many locals to recruit and conscript, but we'll need to give them some training. So replace no training with waste and survival training with the normal boosts and all that, plus free 25 army experience, free 50% research bonus to land doctrine, and my lit fuse timer is going to go down by an extra 15 days. Now let's take care of some other things, because I now have the free fire team support over there, and I've waited until getting this to alter my template and get rid of these recon who basically do nothing on the attack. Now I've waited this long because when getting free things like this, if I'd taken this off already, it would still come up in the second slot, and if you try to alter anything in your template, it would disappear, which sucks. So I'm going to take it away now, and I'm also going to change this icon here. There we go, surface rifle. Now what this is going to do by removing it, I'm going to need 150 less manpower in my divisions. So there, getting manpower back. I'm also going to use 80 less infantry equipment. That's the guns that that support company would use, and 150 less support equipment, which then can be used by my Colorado Rangers. So I'm going to save that. And you know, while I'm at it, let's change the icon here as well. There. So that's done there. 44. I might still lose some. What else do I need to do? Okay. Now I need to produce, because I'm not producing fighting weaponry. So let's change this up there. So now that's done, and two things to go. Got a research slot. Let me start researching light machine guns. I'm going to keep it ballistic. Nice role playing over there. And lastly, I now need to, yes, I need to double check this, because now the guys in 1st Battalion are not at level 3. So let me stop this and restart it so they can train themselves train themselves up. There we are. Reference manual is done. Now I want to get some encryption so my enemies can't see what I'm doing. Now I have always been a massive fan of Intel and the encryption and decryption bonuses, and I want to show you why. So as you can see, we know there are some units on our border, but not anything else about them. But now that I've got that first lot of decryption done, let's wait, I think, about a day. There we go. So I can now see what I have arrayed against me, and once I get my encryption finished researching, they will see less about me. And this kind of intel boosts are the small things that can actually help you win wars. Alright, Drill the Coloradian conscripts is finished. There's my lovely extra arm experience. I'm not going to spend it now on anything because I need it to upgrade my templates later. Now, I have 144 days until this war kicks off. I want to buy myself a little bit extra time. I want to get up to 175 political power so I can complete what I need to do here with this balance of power. I want to get all the way to absolute before I take this focus here, local recruitment drive. So to buy myself some time, I'm not going to do admin on the field. Warning, the event Tandi of Colorado actually minuses, if you're following Coleridge's route, minuses 25% from the balance of power and sends it down, you back down towards administration. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to lose, but I don't want to just sit here and do nothing. So instead, I'm going to fund the fund the Galansky's Grand Garage. Okay, so the Galansky family were always the most avid supporters of the expedition. When we arrived in Colorado soil 20 years ago, Eddie lent us his expertise and armored truck, ensuring our safe travels to the dome. Now, old Eddie is a fragile man, but his kids continued his legacy. We could use their help again. So I'm going to get Galansky's Grand Garage, which is a unique manufacturer for the baggers, I believe. And motorized vehicles are, first, truck technology research speed is going to go up by 15%. Motorized vehicle hardness plus 5%, extra 1% of armor, 5% less to my production cost, and a nice big 100% research bonus for vehicle technology. That will take 30 days and take nothing off my lit fuse timer, nothing extra, so just 30 days. Then something else I can do now that I have 65 command power is I can hand out a few more traits, and I've decided to give Coleridge here melee hacker, nice and simple. Actually no, where's the infantry boost? No, I might take tanks, so I want to keep heavyweight open. Okay, let's go for melee hacker, 5% extra attack, that's fine. Then for Major Briggs over here, I want to give him, he starts with gun nut, I want to give him a sniper for the light special forces attack and defense, as well as Mysterious Stranger for the boost to infantry attack and defense. That's him done. Now, poor Sergeant Larson here only has one trait. He can't use his flexible because he's not operating as a commanding officer, so that's useless. I'm going to give him Mysterious Stranger as well. Same for the infantry attack and defense. Yes, I believe that is everything. Okay. There we are. Secret language is done. Now to get some smoke signals. So Lansky's Grand Garage is open for business, and here is the manufacturer there. Now, something I should have mentioned before I drifted away to take this is be careful when you're doing your own playthrough and watch this counter here, because both Luminous Ones and Withered Dogs also have focuses they can take to lengthen and shorten the fuse. I believe I have mentioned that before, so watch this closely. You do want to complete local recruitment drive if possible. Now, I am still 14 political power short from taking both that I want, but I'll have to take the one now so I can carry on. To do this, I need dominating influence. So let's get that quickly. Open this up here so you can see. For further assistance, I need to activate either Major Briggs or Corporal Stead. I prefer Major Briggs. He's up top here because he gives a boost to hard and soft attack for both fire teams and militia equipment, and damage to enemy garrisons in our states occupied by the enemy goes up by 30%. So let me hire him. No, there we go. And I can now take further assistance from the 5th Engineering Company. This is the one you want to take, remember, not coerce. You don't want the damage. So there we go. I am now at 87%, almost there. Now, focus-wise, I can now take local recruitment drive. The Republic has arrived, people of the Republic has arrived, people of Colorado. It can share its liberty and prosperity with you. If we can but drive the enemy away, come and serve in the NCRACC, the New Californian Army Colorado contingent, and secure yourself citizenship. So, this focus yields additional rewards based on the current range of your balance of power. First of all, I'll get a political advisor, Major Fleming, who will give me more non-core manpower, more mobilization speed, and 10% more population factor. That's brilliant. Here is why I've been trying to drive for absolute. If you can't make it to absolute, it's okay. You will still get 1,500 for being at domineering. If you can get up to 2,000, all up to absolute, you get 2,000 manpower, and also you will get the technology Californian Trooper Warfare, which I'm going through. So I am currently at 36. Once I hit 50, I will pause the game and hire that, and we can get the full effects of it. And the followers of the apocalypse have arrived. Now, generally I don't like them because they mess with my war support and mobilization, but the baggers are NCR, and the NCR like the followers of the apocalypse, so I am actually going to let them come. They'll only do good, apparently. Okay, let's pause that again. Let's sort out these decisions for them. I am not going to grant them any bases because I don't want to give away the scrap metal I don't have. Oh, you idiot. Smokey, what have you done? Damn it. I was supposed to click that one there. I was going to take escort to follow caravans. Oh well, moving on. Not going to placate them. Not going to divert the follow supplies. If I can get up to 50 manpower, I'll take this as well. Damn it and blast. Oi, there's 2 scrap metal I don't have gone. Okay, back to business. Light machine gun, finished. Let's start making that. Okay. Then, something I should, or normally would have researched right at the beginning, is warrior training. This is going to take my division training time down by 5%, and extra 1% reliability doesn't hurt much either. Okay, so what else can I do? Yes, I have 51 political power. So now, thankfully, still 17 days to go. I can now challenge Goddard's position with the posse, and boom! The sword dictates the pen's muse. The darkness of light has descended. The darkness of light had descended upon Rocky Mountain's highlands of Camp Baggers, and General Coleridge used it to his tactical advantage. He knew Goddard would be either sleeping or at this hour, or more likely, be staring beady-eyed at some piece of machinery or another. Even in a position of strength, one should seek out every tactical advantage to maximize the chance of success and remove risk. When springing a coup d'etat on a man you needed alive, it was imperative that things go perfectly. Coleridge was flanked by a squad of his most loyal and veteran members of the Ranger Team November in case of trouble. They did not have their firearms, they did not need them. Goddard would know that they have 100 ways of killing him without them with one wrong move. As he entered the tent serving as Goddard's makeshift office, a big smile came over his face upon seeing the egg-headed man. Goddard, he said in a friendly tone, hiding his hostile intentions, we need to have a serious conversation about the future of the Colorado expedition. And Goddard will now get cult of personality. Mobilization speed plus 20% and daily compliance gain plus 0.2. You will only get this event if you reach absolute. And also, I will now get that Colorado Trooper Warfare. There we go. Local recruitment drive is finished. And there is my 2,000 manpower. I will use that shortly. But right now, I have 69 days until things kick off. So, okay, we'll look at that now. Only thing really for me to do is our admin on the field. Dr. Angies is not only a great biologist and medic, but she is also a well-trained diplomat. Being modest and lacking ambition makes her a perfect administrator and civilian leader. While Dr. Goddard and General Coleridge try their best to achieve the expedition's goals, she will keep everything else in order. And we're going to get the event, the Tandi of Colorado. Let's start that now. First things first, let's have a look, okay, at California Trooper Warfare. Here we go. So, extra 5% defense, hard attack, and soft attack. Nicely done. Then, back to decisions. What can we take here? I received a whole bunch of money. I don't know what I did. But I am going to divert some salvage crews to the hollow disk. How much is this? 100,000. This is 150. I want the manpower. Okay. When I was planning this, I was not planning on the money, so I'd rather get the manpower. What else do we have? Let's actually escort the caravans now, which I was supposed to freaking do instead of giving away my scrap metal. But what's done is done. And then, okay, I have deficit of 44 weapons and a bunch of manpower. I am going to purchase, wrong one, some pipe guns and some basic melee weaponry. Oh well. So that was 250. I need one. Okay, cool. I maybe should have actually taken the cheap option. Oh well. Again, what's done is done. I'm now going to start training. I think I'm going to go for 2 units. See if I can get them equipped and out in time. Just so I can boost up my numbers. Okay, woodworking finished. Now let's get work camp so I can get the extra resources. Okay, let's find out about the Tandi of Colorado. Do you have a minute? Angie's voice broke Goddard's train of thought. I know why you're here, Angie's. Goddard let out an annoyed sigh. I don't need some pep talk, but you are welcome in my tent. In which case, I'll take a seat. Angie sat across the table from Goddard, giving him a warm smile. She imagined it might be hard to see behind his wall of research documents. Are you mad at me? She asked him. Of course not. You've always been a close confidant, someone prepared to pick the reasonable option in any situation. But you don't like that I took Coleridge's side. It's only natural to take the word of a military man on a military matter. When did they fight? Then why did you fight so vigorously earlier? I feel like this is my expedition. I want to do this my way. The Academy Council, Congress, Tandi, they were always bossing me around. After all these years, I thought I could finally have my chance. But you are still in charge of the expedition scientific fronts. You can lead the military matters to Coleridge. I told you I don't need a pep talk. You say lots of things you don't mean. Coleridge did not answer. Instead, he picked up his pen and began scribbling away. Angie's knew that this was a signal the conversation was over. She did give him another smile and got up to leave. He called out to her before she did. Thank you, Angie's. And now, like I said, 25% towards the academics. So I'm going down to 75%, and I will get extra 0.05 political power gain per day and extra 15% stability. Thank you very much. So that actually took me back up to 40. Lovely. How much time do I have left? That's the followers. 39 days. I can get another focus in. And I think... let me go for Task Force Beggars. Yeah, 9 days difference. This will basically set off the war. Okay, Task Force Beggars. The Beggars, the original forces from the first expedition, are our most experienced troopers in the field. We originally wanted to use the experience in the war room, but we'll have to expose them to another PTSD-inducing experience. So local leaders going to legendary wastelanders. Normal changes there. Highlands creates a Beggars unit in Highlands and 15 days from the lit fuse timer. So like I said, this is going to set off the war. I think that's all I have to say. Yeah, let's get ready for war. Oh, wait. I have enough money to buy myself some more weapons. Let's do that one more time. I can't take pipe weapons because I have done a recent transaction already. So basic melee it is. That should sort me out so that I can, yes, I'll let them train a bit more. So when this war kicks off, I can get 3 units in the field. All right, warrior training is finished. I am going to change things up and I am going to start researching my gliders. 56 days, because I am now going to reactivate all these decisions, and I am going to ask for Second Lieutenant Lush's newest protege, which is going to give me 15 units of aircraft and a free airbase. So we're going to take that one. Done. I've got the manpower. So let's set up that squadron quickly. Done. And let me put them. They are fighters, but they can still do close air support. Normal operations, so they won't just disappear. And I'm going to attach them to 1st Battalion for now. So all that is done. Well, smoke signals also completed. I'm going to go again for decode signals so I can get the intel boost on my enemies. Alright, Task Force Beggars is finished. I'm going to carry on this little branch here and get increased medical rations. The Boulder area, the Cheyenne region, and the far south town of Colorado Springs are all pushing green with radiation. Terrain always needs to be accounted for. Until we find a permanent solution, all we can do is increase the troops' medical rations. So we're going to move from chems band to battle chems. This is a bit new. Arm experience is going down by 7.5%. Monthly population drops by 4%. But I do get 3% more recruitable population. Division recovery rate drops, HP goes up, stability goes down, production efficiency retention goes down, planning speed goes up, special forces and infantry units attack goes up by 5%, heating power for free, 100 free units of NCR support equipment, and I don't think this is going to matter, but 15 days removed from a lit fuse timer. Start that off now. Let's see what unit we got here. Just the one, the Baggers Force. I'm going to add them here onto 2nd Battalion to help with the defense. And weirdly enough, lift fuse is on -6 days. So I've got a feeling as soon as I unpause this, yep, war has started. Okay, so the Twin Front Massacre. 2275, 11, 17, 12. The day began like any other, but by the end of the date, would be remembered as one of the biggest tragedies ever suffered by those in the area. Two key incidents transformed it from a day of peace to the start of war. The first involved First Lieutenant Jones. He was drunk while monitoring the Luminous One's border. He had been mocked by his superiors for being a lightweight and was trying to develop a tolerance, believing his inebriation wouldn't matter due to the sparse activity. An equally drunk gaggle of Luminous Ones crossed the border, intent on singing taunting songs to the Californian troopers. Jones' inebriated state caused his warning shot to land a killing blow. The second incident was a communication error. Private Corcio and Sergeant Bachmann in the eastern border outpost received a static full transmission informing them in code that war had begun. It had not, but they believed it had. The moment they saw a passing withered dog patrol, they opened fire and called for backup. So began tumultuous conflict. War never changes. So the Baggers declares war on withered dogs and on the Luminous Ones. Let's go. So I already have my Air Force sorted out. I want to deploy these guys here and cancel that recruitment over there. So that should be 2 units I have, which I'm going to add on to 1st Battalion. And I'm going to send 1st Battalion into the attack. Okay, let's see if my planning is going to work, because there's a lot of RNG in this one. Okay, so I'm waiting for these guys to come across. There we go. That's what I wanted. So now I'm going to select Coleridge and edit this line here all the way across. I'm going to delete this fallback line, select 2nd Battalion and add them right up here in the corner. Very careful. Okay, it's done. All right, so now Army Group Order covers my entire front. So as it stretches, it'll stay linked together. And all I need 2nd Battalion to do is defend. Remember, I have tested this. As long as I keep these 2 victory points here, I will be fine. Briggsdale, I can lose. So, let me carry on going. Pushing against the withered dogs first. This is the main one I'm worried about, is losing Scott's Bluff, because it's right here on my border. And they are using force attack, which sucks. But hopefully they can keep it up. Did I just lose? I think I just lost a unit. I think I just lost, yes, I lost a unit. 5th Colorado Expeditionary Force. Not a great start. Not a great start at all. Okay, I can. No, I'm not. I want to wait for the Navy ones. I need 40. Okay, they defended Scott's Bluff. All right. Now I need them to push. Okay, they are reinforcing here, which is not great. But now their attack boost is gone. So now they are tired. I really hate that I lost that freaking that unit there. They're still holding firm here. Yes, take Broadwater, because they'll give me some space to work with. Good. Okay, decode signals is done. Let me get some encryption, and I can now activate Commander de Flagas, whatever. They're going to get a naval commander and 10 convoys and a naval dockyard, which will activate now. And I am, for now, simply going to put let's actually just build a small navy. Canoe hull. There's no special names. Okay, there we go. Let's carry on going. What do we have here? Not enough infantry equipment, and I don't have the money. Okay. Remember to buy some more when I get some more caps. Can you? No, I don't want to force line on here. I want them to push here. Increase medical rations is good. Oh, must pause. Heating powder there's for free. Let's get some more units with. Utilize the Radophobians. Formed around the leader of the Baggers Force, Sergeant Larson. The Radophobians hate radiation and ghouls. They're potentially dangerous bigots, but we need their hate directed at our enemies. So, change in popularity plus 10% for elites, and 2 free units coming in 30 days. Okay, let's carry on. Oh, okay, he's reinforcing here. I don't want to extend my line too much. I want them in the attack. And there we go. I've lost Broadwater. So these guys must go back. Yes, carry on going. Let's get some victory point sniping over here. Okay, back into attack here on Broadwater. My line is very, very thin, and Kimball is right there. I'm going to change these guys up to flexible, so that they can actually move around and cover what needs to be covered. Okay, looks like they're coming back here. So let me select one of them. Let's take that tile back. Change this back down to there. There, let's take Julesburg there. Okay, it's not perfect, but it is working. Okay, glider's done. Barrage balloons. Not going to be making you guys, and I've lost an arms factory there for light machine guns. That's not good. Okay, see if you can defend there, guys. Come on! Come take Broadwater out. Okay. Oh, damn it all. Coded signals done. Resistors for more research speed.
What is it?
Yes. Take that. There, nice little encirclement. Utilize the Radophobians is done. Can I? Yes, I can still establish the outposts. Our doctrine calls for well-defended positions. With our sappers in the field, we should set them up quickly. We'll construct palisades, walls, bunkers, and outposts in the towns under our jurisdiction. While protecting our borders is important, these settlements provide us with the supplies we need. We cannot fail. So, all of my areas are going to get infrastructure and 2 outposts, as well as being renamed as well. 30 days. And these guys, okay, they are there. I have the manpower. I don't think I have the weapons, but you know what? Change them up anyway. And let's put them on 2nd Battalion so they can help with my defensive line. Okay. Rangers, get in there into New Sterling, if you please.
Come on!
You shouldn't have taken Julesburg. Let's see if we can get Old Sterling, and then we can move on to Holly Oak. you guys.
Hello.
Get in there. I can take the last decision here. And I can prepare for everything and anything. And now I'm going to reactivate those. That's my next priority. Okay, Broadwater and Old Sterling will hopefully fall soon. And then I can make a push. This tile looks open. Can you? Yeah, let's try to take that one there. Okay, brilliant. Okay, where the dogs is taken out. Okay, that's one step. Take everything and take their navy. Okay, and confirm an exit. Okay, halfway done. Whew. This has not gone as I had planned, but it is going. Army group order there. Straight into the attack. Let's carry on going. I'm not going to get pushed from by the Iron Alliance. What decision is here? Divert salvage cruise to holodisc. Yes. Let's get that. Less than 1,000 manpower. I'm still not sure if I made the right decision by getting the military signing bonus this early, or if I should concentrate on something else. Oh, there goes Capitol Hill. Okay, we are attacking nicely. How am I looking for logistics? Fighting, weaponry, infantry equipment's very good. So, let's take you down. Okay. Alright, be prepared has been bypassed. Lovely. Establish outpost is completed. Now, let me get... This will not be over quickly. I'd love that, but I can do that later. There's no prerequisites. I want to get... Yeah, let's get the beggars. Let's get another unit. Hire the junkies, or hire junkies rather. There's a shady individual with the moniker of Lacerman. He hooks up ghouls and others with all different kinds of hard drugs. We never saw him or his goons, only his handiwork. Junkies and brain-dead ghouls scattered around. We could use him as cannon fodder. Camp Baggers gets the Camp Baggers unit in Camp Baggers in 30 days. Okay. Okay, pushing them nicely, pushing them nicely. We'll sort the Navy out next episode. Okay, work camps is done. Hopefully that helps now with my resources. Let's get industry planning so I can get my production up. There we are. Ah, more military factories. Just the one. That's probably the one I lost. Okay, so let's put you... no. Where is... I'm probably low on... Oh no, 299. I've got plenty of that. Let's put instead onto... Let's get my caravans up and running.
You like that?
Okay, manpower's up, chug water. I actually want to slow these guys down. What do we have here? Settlements, yes. This is for the... Yeah, actually, let me wait 10 more and get the water instead. I almost feel like stopping my forces. Actually, no, I'm going to put them onto careful. So advance slower. Because I want to get as many... Okay, barrage balloons is done. Now let's get motorized flight. I would like to get as many of these focuses as possible, but I have to do them while I am at war. So I'm going to slow things down a little bit. This is field more radiophobians. No, I don't want to do this one. Turn it off. Now click the right button this time. Well done me. Okay, let's just take it a bit slower. There we go. Oh, third Broncos. You can go there. And actually, I'm very sad that I lost that unit, but oh well. Okay, guys, slow it down, slow it down. I want to get these focuses done. I like free stuff, as I'm sure everybody else does as well. Okay, high junkies is done. Next one is, yeah, okay, cool. Ask a favor from the truckers. The truckers are old allies of the expedition. While their primary role is logistical support, we could ask to use their armored truck for a different task. Get another unit and 150 units of scrap trucks as well. You know what? I'm just going to stop this for now because, okay, they still have a little bit to go. So let me carry on doing carefully. Now the unit, change you up to the trooper, and yeah, let's just keep that going on there. Okay. You know what? I'm going to stop this now. Okay, I'm going to hold this line. I want to get those focuses done. Now I'm going to hold this line. I'm going to tell these guys to stop. And I'm going to get these focuses done. So I'll see you in a bit. Alright, asking a favor from the truckers is finished. Two more quickly to do. Let's get the manpower first. The call of duty. We're not a bunch of soldiers, laborers, sailors, truckers, and pencil pushers. Also, hold on. We're not just a bunch of soldiers. Laborers, sailors, truckers, and pencil pushers also came with us to make this operation run smoothly. In desperate times like this, we could put guns into their hands. Extra 250 manpower. And this is a very nice. Oh, it's the Galanskis. Fantastic. But not going to use you as motorized. Let's change you back to Colorado troopers and pop you there. Okay, so I'm making up some of the units that I lost, and I can get that 1 building slot and 6 water in Broadland. Nicely done. Let's activate that one there. Industry planning finished. Let's get on to work as needed. This is what I need for more factory output, 9% and 2% more recruitable population. And I can also grab ask follows to help settlements. 100 days, more, 20% more population, and I get an extra civilian workshop. That's all I'm going to take from them. Resistors finished as well. Let's get some vacuum tubes. Whoop, there we are. Alright, the call of duty is done. Now let's go for recruit civilians for sapper duty. Among the locals are many with engineering talents. They may not possess the same skills as our military sappers, but they'll do in a pinch. 1 off-map arms factory. Start that. Then I'm going to put my operative, root out resistance, here in the Withered Dogs territory that used to be there. Okay, this line has not moved a bit. Still on careful. I'm going to start them off because I'm pretty sure I can get this in. Get this focus done in 30 days. And if I lose the arms workshop, that's okay. How much time left? Jeez, these guys are really kicking their on. I almost said a bad word there. Okay, let's stop them. And I just restarted anyways. I think I'm going to win this one without completing this focus. So Stop. Stop. Let's take Chuck Water over here. They can finish that attack. That should still keep them in the fight. You obviously don't have to do this if you don't want to. I'm just choosing to. Okay, now we took that. How we... Yeah, see, that dropped it a lot. Okay, yeah, good thing I stopped. Didn't take Red Mountain. Wait for this focus to finish. Let's put them back up to balanced again. When we are ready in how many days? 14, 2 weeks to go. Come on, come on, come on. Time is really dragging out here. There you go, 1 week. Barrage Balloon's not going to build you. So what are you searching for here? Okay, equipment. And do I have the money? I might. Let's check. 13. Yes, let's buy some guns. Okay, and now that is finished. So now, let's finish this off. Got all these free ones here. You can only do these while you are at war. And now I'm going to get some scrap metal and some equipment with access emergency stockpiles. When we left Colorado last time, we left behind a hidden cache of weapons and other equipment. They're old and rusty, but it seems an emergency came earlier than we anticipated. So as I said, extra 5 production of scrap metal and 300 units of NCR equipment in 15 days. Back on balanced. Let's finish this off. Yeah. More arms factories. We'll set that up after the war is done. Now I don't care when it finishes, because as soon as this is taken over, this episode will come to an end with the victory. Didn't go as I had planned. Made a couple of mistakes, as you know, but as you can see, it is still possible. There, Luminous one's done. Select all. They don't have a navy, so just submit demands and confirm an exit. And there we go. Victory. Okay, so the last shot in the war for Northern Colorado rang out today. The ghouls never stood a chance against our superior discipline and firepower. A wind passes along the edge of the great Rocky Mountains with a sigh of relief. It carries away the smell of gunpowder off on the breeze, but the stench of death and decay remains. It will remain until men clear it away to build something better. That's the hard part, isn't it? Is it really over? No, it is not. But this episode is done. Thank you all very much for watching. In the next episode, I will continue the focus tree. And spoiler alert, Iron Alliance will not be long for this world. But again, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.